And we're
Doing a
live.
3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody back to Red Shirts Remastered for okay, my YouTube audio was on. Okay, welcome everybody to Red Shirts Remastered for a new episode of Rambling Red Shirts. And all the Red Shirts are here together for a fantastic episode. How is everyone doing tonight?
Doing well.
Sure, I'm here.
Sure.
What's up,
You're
guys?
here. That's something.
I'm something.
There we go.
I'm here.
Something, you're here. Yeah. Well,
I'm
we
alive.
have another. You're right, exactly. We're alive. We're here for another news-filled show, as we usually do. But we always begin off though. I mean, I don't think there's any housekeeping we need to do beforehand, do we? Anything at all?
Housekeeping?
Yeah. February.
Housekeeping?
February
Oh, there you go.
starts tomorrow. Well, a couple of things actually.
Tomorrow.
First of all, Spencer and I, possibly tomorrow, most likely Friday, and maybe tomorrow night into Friday. Who knows? We might be feeling froggy. Are gonna be streaming some Suicide Squad, so definitely check that out. Come watch us play Suicide Squad. It comes out this week. Deluxe is already out. I'm picking up the Deluxe tomorrow. Spencer's already picked up the Deluxe, and then the regular drops on Friday. But speaking of drops, there are Twitch drops for it, so that's one of the reasons we wanted to stream, so people can have that opportunity. But also, with it being February, the past couple of years we've been doing all month long, charity streaming and fundraising. We're not quite prepared. Everything that has been going on in real life for February. We will be back with that in September. But on February 28th is Rare Disease Day, so we will be doing an all-day stream kind of thing to raise money for Rare Disease Day itself. So stay tuned for more information on that.
Yes, precisely. All that. Lots of good stuff coming your way. And you know what? Also, speaking of other stuff coming your way, or something that we just got, we did a Masters of the Universe video. There's this little show on Netflix that came out called Masters of the Universe Revolution. That premiered is number 6 on the charts last night. I think it was still on the top 10 at 9. Now, considering that's for an animated show of an 80s IP, that is really good numbers, I assume. And so, but speaking of that, we did a video over it, which has become our highest viewed regular video. So that's awesome. When me and Chris talked about it, we went in depth on it and talked about, hey, you should watch it. And we definitely absolutely both loved it. But I'll say right now, that's not either of our picks of the week, since we already talked about it. So we got other stuff to talk about for our picks of the week. So speaking of picks of the week, Chris, you're up first. What is your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is Family Guy, and it's a show that it's one of those shows that I can just put on no matter what. Kind of like Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, that kind of show that you can just have on in the background and watch. And today is Family Guy's 25th anniversary.
What?
Yeah, 25 years ago today, the first Family Guy.
A quarter of a
episode.
century.
Yeah, so now they took a couple of years off. I think, I forget how many exactly, maybe 4 or something like that.
They got canceled. It was very brief.
And then they came back and been going strong ever since.
Yep.
So congratulations to Family Guy and Seth MacFarlane for 25 years of Family Guy. Thank you for being a great show for all those times that I've been, sick with a flare and just something to put on and have on. I can fall asleep to because I've seen it a million times. Thank you for Stewie's Untold Story and Cool Hip. Thank you for and a lot of people think this, but I love Seth MacFarlane's cavalcade of comedy. If it's a special, if you've never seen it, Watch it. It's hilarious.
Very different than Family Guy, but
very
very
different
funny.
than Family Guy, but very, very funny. Also, if you haven't checked out, I haven't finished watching it yet, but I've watched maybe 3 episodes. The new Ted series on Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah,
is sorry on
Peacock.
Peacock. Thank you, Peacock. Thank you on Peacock. Is fantastic so far. So, yeah, my pick is Family Guy, going 25 years strong. And hello, Matthew Coburn.
Hello, Matthew.
Nice to see you in the chat. Speaking of Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane made a quote. I don't remember if it was today or yesterday, saying like, it's been 25 years, and then they're still going strong, going ending anytime soon. So it's good to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think. Yeah, it's worth giving them their props, because I think nowadays it really puts it into perspective 25 years later. A lot of people don't give Family Guy the props it deserves, especially those early seasons. I think people forget how much of an impact it had. Maybe it's not quite, well, certainly it's not quite on the level as of The Simpsons, right? But that being said, it definitely has its place in the in the history of animated shows for what it did, and especially those early seasons. When that came out, there was nothing else like it on TV at the time. And and I'm a fan of all of those shows. I love The Simpsons. I love Family Guy, South Park, King of the Hill, you name it.
Futurama. We talked
Futurama.
about
We've talked about a lot of these
show,
on this show before. But I think just because so much time has passed, we've just become so comfortable with Family Guy just always being there, that it's that we forget kind of what it was when it first started. And I think it's just worth acknowledging what it kind of did for the culture to a certain extent. And
it's still having that effect, because look at Fortnite.
Absolutely
just brought Family Guy into Fortnite, and they've just added more Family Guy into Fortnite.
The giant
chicken, which is on my radar. Like, I'm like debating, should I get it or not?
Yeah.
And
what's funny? Just imagine playing as a giant chicken while playing Festival.
Yes.
Speaking of Festival, they're adding Green Day songs tomorrow, which I'm excited to check out.
Which
come on. You want a giant chicken playing Green Day. Come on.
Yeah, Basket Case singing Basket Case. A giant chicken singing Basket. Oh man. All right. Okay. I'll explore it. I get paid tomorrow. I'll look at the budget.
Yeah.
I'll look at the budget. I hate you, Spencer.
That's
but yeah,
great.
Family Guy has pretty much been in Seth MacFarlane's catalog most of his animation career. A lot of people don't know this, and I enlightened a few people that Seth MacFarlane really got his start in the 90s with Johnny Bravo, fresh out of college. So a lot of people don't even know he even worked on that show, which also an iconic series, even though it was more short-lived. And then he's transitioned over to Family Guy. He pitched it. It was, if you guys ever go on YouTube, you can go watch the original pitch of what Family Guy used to look like back in the 90s. When
I was just going to bring that up, actually.
It looks way different. The color palette's completely different for all the characters. Everybody's got different hair. Peter looks not like the Peter we see now. He was like an old, shorter guy.
Well, if I remember right, there was about two or three of them, right? Like 2 different pilots that he did.
I think 2 pilots.
One of them, maybe I'm just making this up, but I think like Brian was like the main character, or the dog, or whoever it was the main character
because that was Seth's main voice, anyways. So it wasn't that hard to do.
But yeah, he did a few, and you can kind of see the evolution of it, because some of the jokes just end up in Family Guy verbatim from how they were in that. But then there's some you can see how they changed and evolved and how they grew over the years. So it's definitely worth a watch, if only as a history lesson.
Yeah, definitely go back and check those out. And if you want to see a very young Seth MacFarlane, they literally did go through a camera when they were doing stuff at Cartoon Network at Johnny Bravo. And I think it was Butch Hartman, who did Fairly Odd Parents, who took the camera through, like showing, hey, this is this person, there's their cubicle, there's them in their cubicle. And he like goes in and he's like hanging out with Seth MacFarlane, and he had such a baby face back then. It's wild. But yeah, this was the show that really got me also into voice impressions. And I know a lot of people that's the same. There's something about Family Guy that people are drawn to doing. Stewie, Peter, in my case, Herbert the pervert. Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, one of mine is the greased up deaf guy.
Y'all gonna catch me. See y'all next year.
Yeah, I think those two are by the same voice actor, right? The Herbert and the greased up deaf guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Or then there's Bruce.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Yes, that's why they calls it an accident.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. What have you done?
So just wild voices that are very appealing and funny to do. Much like all the other cartoons you watch on TV that are very doable, I would say. So yeah, 25 years. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
Here's to maybe 25 more. We'll see what Disney decides. People forget Disney owns Family Guy now.
And
it used
Simpsons.
to be like, and Simpsons. And it's weird.
And
like,
Futurama.
They're very crude humor. And it's like, Disney owns
and
it?
King of the Hill.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm surprised we didn't see is like a straight up Family Guy multiverse. We bring back the Cleveland show, give everyone their own spin-off.
The Foxverse.
You know what would be
Bring
great?
them all back and have Deadpool kill them all.
Oh God.
Oh look! Hey,
You know
look!
what'd be great,
Wait,
though?
hold on. Our chat thing worked.
Yeah, it has been. Yes.
Oh.
You know what would be great though, is having, since Disney owns all these different big cartoon IPs. Wouldn't it be great if they, like those old holiday specials where things would cross over? Like back in the day, you had that one with like Muppets and Sesame Street. Like do that now with all these. That'd be fantastic.
Oh my gosh!
What was it? Scooby-Doo and Kiss.
Well, you do see that in the games. They don't shy away from doing that with a lot of those. They have different names for them, but they'll cross over like Simpsons, Family Guy, King of the Hill, like various ones like that. Sometimes Simpsons is its own separate entity. They don't cross over too much in the games, but the other ones certainly will all go together in games. Like the newest one I saw was a racing game, kind of in the vein of like the Disney Speedstorm or one of those kind of like it was
a Fox one.
Yeah, but it was iOS only, so it's not on like the major consoles. I got excited. And then until I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, damn it!"
Yeah, never mind.
Never mind. Mobile game.
Never mind.
We good.
Unless we're gonna get an emulator and play it or something.
We good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
anyway,
moving along. Next pick of the week. What's yours, Patrick?
So mine is actually an older game that's been on console for a while. It's No Man's Sky. Also on, I think, was this one on Game Pass still?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So if you guys have not checked this out, this is a space exploration game. The concept is very easy. It's basically you wake up and you're on a planet, and there's a ship there, and you got to repair the ship, and that's kind of the tutorial of how the game starts. You kind of have to teach yourself, okay, how do I fix this ship? Collecting resources, analyzing stuff, and on every single planet, you get to analyze stuff, which gets you more stuff as the game progresses. There's a whole lore and story behind it as it progresses. It's a lot of fun. So this past week, I did a little bit more base building and additions to a base that Spencer and I started a while back. So continuing to build onto that. So next time he comes on the game, he can add more stuff to the base as well. So that's been a lot of fun doing that, and continuing that on. And also I progressed some of the lore. I had stayed away from the lore for a little bit. I was more worried about collecting resources and survival for a little bit there. So that's been a lot of fun. There's been so many expansions since this game has come out at launch. It's ridiculous how much you can do in this game now. So, and every single one was free. These are all free expansions. You guys don't have to pay a single cent to play them. The studio did that, and the game has never been more popular than right now.
Free 99. It's one of the best redemption arcs. It's great because it's one of the best redemption arcs we've gotten in gaming, if not the best. Which is, it's a kind of a great story at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And then you guys might remember I actually had this as one of my picks of the week on a previous episode.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I touched on during that time was, the just what Spencer was mentioning, the fact that when this game first came out, they had all these broken promises. They, they said the game was going to be one thing and it wasn't. And now, like, however many years later, so much work has been done on it. It's completely transformed the game and the perception behind the game as well. And even since I last talked about it on this show, another major update has been added, and that's the main one that they're focusing. You can see on the screen right now. I haven't even had a chance to delve into that yet, so I'm super excited for that. That's it looks great. I can't wait to get back into this.
And I'm actually doing something that most people generally don't do in the game. They normally try to lead you in a direction to get to a black hole to get to the center of the galaxy, which generally teleports you to another galaxy. I'm going a different route with this. I am literally I started in one star system, and instead of going along the path to get to the black hole, I'm literally like expanding like this to all the nearby star systems. So I'm making my own little empire of exploration, and it's so much fun. And I'm like trying to build out at least one base possibly in each star system as I go, even if it's like a teeny tiny base. So eventually I'll have my own little colony of just star systems that are all discovered by me. So, but the game's so large, it's like the odds of somebody finding your star system are pretty low. But I did run across one of my nearby star systems. Literally, actually had another player that had discovered it. So I'm like, well, somebody nearby discovered it, so maybe I'll find some more of his. So we'll see what's going on.
That was the cool thing I noticed when playing as well. Is that it was I could see planets discovered from people from all platforms. So one would be from a PlayStation user, one was from an Xbox user, and a Steam user. So it was like it's very nice to see that level of cross play, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
cross compatibility.
The cross play, the fact that it is cross play, it's cross play but not cross progression, I believe.
You can't bring your save file. I think you only get
resources.
You can't bring your save file from if you have it on Game Pass, for example, you can't take that Game Pass save and bring it to Steam. Yeah. I mean, I think there is a way, but it's the average. It takes a lot of work, and you're probably not allowed to do it.
You're technically not supposed to. Yeah, but I'm saying like even between like Game Pass and PlayStation and Xbox, unfortunately. So that's kind of the only thing. I don't understand games today that aren't that. But like you said, Spencer, it's one of the best redemption arcs, so you kind of give them a pass on something like that. Especially the fact that it's on Game Pass has given it so much more exposure and so much more life as well. And I'm sure it's on the PlayStation. It's in this PlayStation library, is it not? Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, I don't think so. Actually.
Oh, interesting.
I believe not.
So that's one that'll be interesting. That's interesting. So, and then now Hello Games is working on a new game that's going to be about riding a dragon or raising dragons.
Oh yeah, we saw that at a Game
Awards. Yes.
Yeah, looks awesome. I can't wait for that one as well.
That game definitely looks fantastic. The fact that it's over 1 billion planets is just insane. You're muted, Patrick.
You're legitimately going through galaxies.
Yeah,
it's no joke.
It's insane. The fact
and it makes me so happy to see other star systems near me other players have discovered, because some of them they're just jumping point to point, and that some of them they might discover that star system but haven't explored it yet. Like that's what this one guy did. He jumped in, he looked at maybe like 2 planets, and he goes, "Oh, I'm just gonna jump somewhere else." I was like, "Dude, you didn't even finish." So like I went in and finished all of his. I stole all of his like observations on all the other planets and moons. So I was like, "Heck yeah, we worked on it together, even though I don't even know who you are."
So yeah, No Man's Sky, check it out on Game Pass if you have Game Pass. If
free
not,
on Game Pass if you got it.
Yeah, so
free on a paid subscription. Anyway, what's not free though is my pick of the week. I picked up the game that's been being talked a about a lot recently. A lot more negativity than there should be, which is the reason why I'm talking about it now instead of later versus after I played a lot of it. I will say I've played like 8 to 10 hours ish already. I'd say 8 to 9 is probably more accurate. But that is Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and that is it's the newest game from Rocksteady, known for making the fantastic Arkham trilogy, one of the best gaming trilogies there is. And but they're taking quite a different approach with this game, as it's trying to go like, I guess, the Avengers route with it being live service, which kind of turned off a lot of people already. And I don't think there's any problem with that, because obviously online games like that aren't for everybody. And so, but from what I've played of it, though, it's been a great experience. There's you get put right into Metropolis. Well, it doesn't feel it's a fair sized map, and it's very rich. It's a very rich map, which is awesome. Me and Chris played a bit of the like alpha test, beta test, whatever it was. We played a bit of it together, and Chris has a good idea of like at least what the first few hours look like, or 2 hours or something like that. And so, because they were kind of generous with how much they gave you, which is awesome for that. Because I know it's what probably sold both of us for picking up early,
yes,
or at least for me. And so, but no, it's been awesome so far. I've been really enjoying playing through the story with one of my friends. We've been doing a bit of it together, and I haven't killed anyone yet. I mean, spoiler alert, it's kind of in the title, but it's been awesome so far. I don't. There's a lot of things people are complaining about it, and I think they just like don't quite understand what's going on with it. There's like the game's going with like a long-term storytelling idea, so a lot of people are really mad at this aspect that this may be this is Kevin Conroy's last time ever in a video game, and people have seen things and connect two dots together, and people are getting really mad at that. And so, but it's also very interesting. I'm sorry, it's in the title. All right, I don't know what else people are expecting. All right.
Yeah. And look, from what I played in the alpha, what they've done with Batman was awesome.
Yes.
So
they make you like scared of Batman. He stalks you. When I literally was brought it up is like shortly after that mission. I brought it up to I brought it up to my friend I was playing with it. I was like, Batman can like stalk us. And then literally like right after I said that, I like look over and he's there in the distance, which is wild.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed him since, but it is just like the timing of that, right? I'm like, Batman's there. I look over and he's literally right there. I'm like, oh my god, the timing of that is hilarious.
That's creepy.
But no, it's been a great game. From the bit I've played, I something else as well is I've played, like I said, I've played 8 to 10 hours. I'm probably I don't know how far through the story I am, but people are saying it's a 7 to 9 hour story, which I not true if you're playing it normally. There is a way you can speed run the story.
Sure.
AKA once you like do like the first few hours normally, you can like speed run to do some of the main objectives, but like then or you could do it like a normal progression. So, kind of like a hard mode, right? Like, skip ahead without getting all the stuff that makes you a lot better, but still doable.
Yes.
And so, but so far the campaign's been awesome. I've really been enjoying it. Fun story so far. There's been a lot of fun moments, some awesome surprises, and there's also going to be a lot of post-launch content that I can't wait for as well. Such as go on.
No, go ahead. No, good. Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait on revealing what some of the. I was gonna say. I think for comic book fans, a game like this. We don't want to speedrun a game like this because we want to enjoy the story. We want to feel like we are the comic book character, to the max. And so people who aren't really big comic book fans and more like, oh, King Shark, I saw the movie, I want to play this game, or things like
Nom nom.
yeah, friend. I think
Hungry.
I think that there are certain people who are gonna really appreciate the story, because even the short amount that I experienced in the alpha was really, really good. Just even like the cinematography and the way they did it was really good.
Rocksteady knows how to tell a story.
Yeah,
and they're gonna keep it up as well. They've already confirmed that there's gonna be a lot of additional dialogue and cutscenes going forward. We're gonna see a lot of characters come back. We're going back to Arkham later on.
Gotham.
Well, parts of I'm very curious on how they're gonna do that. You'll when we get into the game, you'll see what
neighborhoods
I mean by that.
Probably.
Right, like I feel like it's just going to be certain sections are going to kind of like be. You'll see.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain part of the game where I think they kind of give a tiny bit of a tease of what it could be like, and so, yeah, no, it's been really enjoyable, and I think there's a lot to look forward to because, like No Man's Sky, all this expansion stuff coming to it is free, free story, a free character every time. And they're making the story to have like 2 episodes each for each season, and like I think you have like 1 episode at the beginning and the other episode like halfway through. So yeah, a lot of awesome stuff to look forward to among this one huge story that they're making, because this is essentially what the game has. It's just a big opening chapter, and then you can keep on playing through it, and you can also revisit any previous season things as well as time goes. So so far it's a very promising start, and I can't wait to play more of it.
Yeah, it does have microtransactions for anyone who's wondering, because it is a live service game. It has a battle pass, but
not at launch. It won't be until season 1, but yes.
Yeah, not at launch. Not season 1, which starts at the beginning of March.
Yes.
And March 6th, I believe, is what it is.
I don't think they gave a date, but like by how they're saying it seems very early on.
I thought it was more. I thought they did, but anyway,
because they're saying it in just a few weeks you'll be season 1, so it seems like they're bringing it very quickly.
Yeah, so
kind of like how Diablo 4 was when it began. You had like a month to play the base game.
The microtransactions are cosmetic, so
yes,
and it's not a PvP game. Although they have talked about possibly
it's possible PvP, if they could.
If they can.
It has a Diablo-like gear system, kind of.
Yes.
To where, like, the gear isn't necessarily leveled. It's more about the stats on the gear and the kind of gear you get.
Which is good. I like that system. It makes you... Because there's perks on the gear, and so you don't necessarily just take the best numbered gear. You might take a gear that's a little bit lower number but has better perks. So I really like the traversal system is really cool. The game does come out officially. The regular edition comes out Friday. The deluxe came out Tuesday. And so if you pick it up before Friday, I'm sure if you pick it up on Friday, you'll get these classic outfits. And then if you pick up the deluxe edition, you also get the Justice League outfits. You get a battle pass token, which you can use on any of the seasons 1, 2, 3, or 4 battle passes. Some weapons, some skins, some color swatches. Yeah, it's.
I'll say I've been rocking King Shark as a Superman outfit, and it is glorious.
And I know I will be going with Captain Boomerang. Let's let Patric and Geo throw in some 2 cents.
I'm probably not going to end up playing this game, but I'll definitely watch you guys stream it. The storyline and what I have seen seems pretty intriguing. I saw this funny clip I'm sure you guys have seen with Deadshot and Flash, and that is really, really funny. But I won't spoil that for you if you guys haven't.
They're
seen
not
it.
even the best like dialogue people.
I know
Yeah.
it only gets better, but what I saw of that scene was pretty hilarious.
King Shark and Boomerang steal the scene
Yes,
always.
they do steal the show.
Nom nom.
Not that kind of King Shark. This is a more
This is a
badass King
different-
Shark,
Yeah,
but he also
he
has
actually
like a.
is somewhat more intelligent. Yeah, for sure.
Hungry.
He's a lot more intelligent.
It's not Sylvester Stallone.
It's not. Yeah.
It is not Sylvester Stallone. Gio, have you had any interest in this game at all?
Not particularly. I mean, I enjoyed Rocksteady's previous games, but this one just didn't really interest me. Not anything negative about it, but there's just only so many games, right? So
Yeah.
I was one of those things where I'll just see what everyone else is saying. If it gets some crazy, very good reviews, maybe I'll check it out. But
it's definitely mixed. I have a feeling once people really get their hands on it, it's going to be like the Rotten Tomato effect.
yeah, it's not even actually out yet.
The critic
too,
scores
right?
are lower and the viewer scores are higher, for sure.
I've seen 2 critic scores out already, and they're both like 8 out of 10s.
Oh, good.
Oh no.
One of them's from VGC.
Oh, nice.
I don't remember
Well,
the
if
other
VGC's giving it 8,
Yeah.
then it'll be solid.
Yeah, so
I like VGC.
So, like-
one. And I think that's a solid score for it. Like
absolutely
8 out of 10 is
yeah.
a really good score.
It is
and
good
at
for
the end of
gaming.
the day, as much as I love it, there is a problem with live service games in the industry. And at the end of the day, that is what it is. Well, for a live service game, I think it does a lot of things good or done properly for the kind of game it is.
I would love to also then see it re-reviewed when all the characters and other areas are out, and have someone
here's the other thing,
re-review
too.
it and see if it's gone up or down. There's a chance it could go down and make it worse.
Yeah. We have confirmed that there's 4 seasons. That's going to be about a little over a year worth, each one being roughly 3 months.
Yep.
However, when you get into the rumor mill of particularly one leaker in general, who's been getting a lot of stuff right, he's saying there's at least like double that amount
2 years
for even
worth,
when 2 years worth.
So 8
of
seasons
where
worth.
even if the game was to just like absolutely fail, people could you'd still at least get those 8 seasons that could continue depending on how sales do from there. It's going to be one of those interesting things because I feel like people are taking this one huge part out of context. I think when people see what really happens with it, people might come around on it. Like those certain people that are really bad at it right now. However, that's not going to be until like season 3 or 4 when they touch that storyline.
That's what I was touching on earlier with the whole, like, serious comic fans are going to be the ones keeping this game afloat.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say about that. All right, anyone complaining about certain we'll just say deaths. I'm not going to say who, but deaths should know. I don't think know the comic book genre well enough. That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
It's like, all right, and
yeah.
it's no one stays dead in comics.
No.
Like
nobody.
The only person I can think of that's actually stayed dead is like a single Marvel hero. Other than that, I can't think of anyone from like DC or anyone else from Marvel. And so it's like, especially when you have things in the universe that have gotten used in Rocksteady's games, the Lazarus Pit, among many other ways to bring people back. So people don't stay dead.
No. Yeah, relax, people.
Or they just make a different dimension or alternate universe.
On the same token, like I don't know enough to know what they're upset about with this new game, right? But I think there's something to be said for taking a death seriously, though, right? I think you can't just because people die and come back. It's like that's what cheapens their death. Who cares? They can just die a million times.
No. But what they're upset about is a character dying in a game when the game is about killing the people on that team.
Yeah, like that's you have to expect that the Justice League is going to get killed in a game. That's the entire premise. So, but that being said, I saw one screenshot that was being passed around, and obviously it's a spoiler, so I won't say what it was. And so I think that might have been something that people were upset about how this certain character, what happens to them in particular, and how it goes down, right? So it's like but that's all I saw was a screenshot, so I can't even say how I feel about it because all I saw was one single picture. It doesn't show, it doesn't reveal anything of the story. So it's like you have to take what you see with a grain of salt until the full thing comes out, and then on top of that, I don't know. I mean, I think part of it is people are putting, like someone said earlier, their feelings about how certain people have passed away and stuff, and they're putting that into their feelings for the game, and I can understand that, right? But it remains to be seen. I can't even have a comment on it without knowing the full context of what happens in the game, right? So, and I think
people are just people are just seeing that one scene because now there's clips of it now floating around, obviously, since the game's out, and so And you can imagine the heyday that at least Twix has been having with it, which is like, guys, this you don't understand what like they're doing though, and so
because it's like I see what it's hard to really say without getting into specifics, but I see where you're going with that.
Exactly. And you know what? We'll just leave it at that. Go check out the Suicide Squad, and we'll be streaming it here later on. And you know what? You're up, Gio. You're the one that hasn't given us your pick of the week.
So my pick of the week this week is another game that's been in the news, making a lot of headlines. A lot of people have been talking about it, and that's the new game from Pocket Pair known as Pal World. So you probably, I'm sure if you've been on the internet at all in the past month, you've heard about this game. We talked about it back when we saw the initial trailer, but here on this channel. And now the game is out in early access form. That's what it is on Steam and
Xbox and
on the Game Pass version as well. They also mentioned that these are not the completed version of the game, so there's still some work left to do. This game has been kind of referred to as the nickname, Pokemon with guns, which I think is a really unfair characterization of it. Obviously, you get the character designs of the pals are very almost blatantly taken from Pokemon. But that being said, if we're going to describe what this game is, I can boil it down very simply. It's an amalgamation of 3 games as I see it. It's one is Ark Survival Evolved, or you could even say you could even say Minecraft, but that's
Ark's very accurate.
Ark's more accurate, I'd say.
So there's that one. The second would be Zelda Breath of the Wild, or you could even say Tears of the Kingdom. And the third one would be the Pokemon Legends Arceus, which was a 3D Pokemon.
Yep.
So basically, if you take aspects of those 3 games and combine them together, that's basically what you're getting with Pal World. So what it is. Yeah, plus gun. Well, there was guns in
Ark.
In Ark, I believe.
Yeah, Ark has guns.
That's why
there was even guns in an episode of Pokemon.
So, I mean, basically what the game is you get your survival crafting, your base building. Where it gets the Pokemon comparison is because, you do get to capture these creatures and make them do your bidding. What I think is really cool about it in that respect is that you get that base building aspect and you've seen kind of some elements of like what we've seen in like Fallout, for example, where in Fallout 4 you could get the citizens and then you would assign them to jobs at your settlement and they would do things for you. That's kind of what you're doing here. Absolutely. No Man's Sky is another great example. So that's a lot of similar games have done what this game does. And I don't think it's being apologetic of that fact at all. It's it's not shying away from the fact that it's taking elements from many other games and putting them into this game. But I think why that matters is because it does a good job of doing them. What they're doing here is they've taken a game that people have wanted and aspects of things that people have wanted in a game before, but they just haven't been given. And they're like, okay, well, if you're not going to do it, we're going to do it. And so they've, I feel like that's what they've done here with Pal World, and it's a very engaging and entertaining game. It, you get through the aspect of, okay, you're going to catch all these different creatures. There's a lot of variety. There's that whole thing. But I think if you're someone who enjoys the base building mechanics, building up your team, building up all that different stuff, then you're going to find a lot of leveling up, getting the new upgrades. That's a huge level of enjoyment in the game as well. So I think there's a lot to offer there. I think it's worth mentioning that because it is an unfinished game at this point, there's a lot of work to be done. I experienced a fair amount of glitches in my time, nothing that was game breaking. I don't think the game, I don't know if it ever crashed on me. If it did, maybe once so it's pretty stable, but there's definitely a lot of work to be done here. So I think the game is good now. I think if with some work, you could eventually be a great game, but I think there's a lot to discuss on this. So that's why I want to open the floor to you guys and see what we have to say about this.
Go ahead, Spencer.
Something you kind of mentioned earlier, it takes a lot of aspects of other games. The way I look at it is it takes a lot of the main, best parts of other games and puts it all in one, right? Like, you have that arc, survival, base building, and progression, which I think is a great progression system. And then, you obviously have all the Pokemon and keep on catching them or rewarding you for all that, and other games that, you mentioned a couple Breath of the Wild aspects or Tears of the Kingdom aspects that come into it. And so I view it as one of the reasons why it blew up is that it's all these great combinations of different games that I think at the end of the day, people just want it, especially the whole thing of people want to be able to use Pokemon in more ways than the traditional Pokemon game. And I think that's a reason why Legends Arceus did really well, because I think it was a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And I think, and what I hear about the gameplay of Scarlet and Violet, it is also another good step, kind of, just not in the way of graphics and bugs, but the core gameplay loop was a step in the right direction. And so, but seeing this in a completely different light that people have obviously wanted for years. I mean, as Chris has up on the screen there, that's 7 million players just on Xbox. And I could be wrong, but I think it's 12 million on Steam. And so we're talking about a total of 19 million players for an indie game. And that's huge. And
it's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane numbers.
It's unprecedented.
I think it goes to show of why the largest ever video game franchise is the biggest, and it just shows about how people want more of it in a different way.
And it was at a cheaper price point than most modern games too, which helped boost it even further.
And on Game Pass.
Yeah.
One thing that I didn't even... Yeah, well, one thing I didn't even touch on, and maybe you guys were going to bring that up, is I totally missed the fact that it's also a multiplayer game too, and what have been Pokemon fans been wanting is a online Pokemon game, and this is what this gives you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a Pokemon guy, but
sacrilege. No, I'm joking. Go on.
But never have been ever. Maybe watch the show a little bit here and there, but this game has me hooked. I was on it earlier today. I was on it maybe I missed. Yes, I didn't play yesterday, but I think every other day I've pretty much played a little bit. You go on there, you do a little bit. That's what great thing about survival games. You can go on, do a little bit, and you feel like you've accomplished something. Doesn't matter what you've done, you just feel like you've accomplished something. So you can do it in short spurts, or you can spend, as we've done, 8 hours playing a game like that. And then you add the combat system and the pal catching. And then the fact you can ride some of them, it's just,
oh my god, that's so much fun.
So much fun, and it's not a surprise that Xbox swooped in and said, yes, we want a game like Pokemon because we can't have Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see it right there on the screen. Pal World becomes the biggest third-party Game Pass launch ever. I mean, it's what, the third largest, the third biggest Steam launch ever, right? I think.
Yeah, I think that's definitely worth noting.
Most concurrent players ever on Steam, right?
Second highest for a paid game.
Yeah.
The problem is now it shows it was peaked highest for a paid game, but the discrepancy with that is PUBG was higher when it was paid. Was at its peak when it was paid.
Yeah.
And so,
okay. Well, that's because PUBG was the first game to really take advantage of the
Battle Royale.
Or
at least blowing up that. Yes. But that's the reason why, huge reason why I agree. But, during its peak, it reached a crazy amount of concurrent players at once. Yeah. But then since then, it helped the game live on. They made it free to play, but it got nowhere near those numbers since doing the free to play.
Correct. Hey, Patrick, what's your take on Pal World? You've played it a little bit. Patrick. Spencer, pull out your soundboard. Gio, get ready for a foghorn. Nothing. Do Star Wars. Greedo shot first.
Hello there, this is Kermit the Frog.
Oh my gosh, Patrick.
That is hilarious.
Wake up! Take the pillow from your head!
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to the Blastmaster KRS-One.
Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. We're gonna get him on big. Hold on. Don't wait a second, because I have to change something before they'll be able to hear you when I do this. Okay, now they can hear you.
Aren't you ashamed?
Patrick. Wakey, eggs and bakey.
This is your conscience.
Wakey,
Sorry,
eggs
doze
and
off,
bacon.
yes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, Patrick, what are your thoughts on Power?
I like shooting pals with bows and arrows. That's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed that. Catching pals, I hope it gets more progressively complicated as the game goes on. Because early game, from what I played with you guys so far, catching pals has been relatively easy.
It definitely gets harder.
It gets harder.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, eventually you get to the point where you can't even use the regular pal balls.
Okay.
Like they do fuck all.
Mega.
So they do upgrade.
Yeah.
Right, cool. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah, I've seen at least 3 different types of what are they called? Spheres?
Yeah, pal
spheres.
Yeah.
Pokeballs. I mean, pal spheres.
I didn't want to just say balls because
Pokepal balls.
I'll say it.
I've seen 3 different. Well, it's a little suggestive when you're like, I've seen 3 different types of balls. All right, like
your spheres.
I'll show you my balls.
Hey yo!
Welcome to
All right.
YouTube.
Oh, sorry. Keep
I was going
going.
to say, this is basically just going to tie into our first little tidbit of story here, is that Xbox, because of the success, has now decided to work with Pocket Pair, get this bigger, and help them add things to the Xbox version, like dedicated servers.
That's awesome.
offer engineering resources to help with GPU and memory optimization, speeding up the process to make Pal World updates available for players, and working with the team to optimize the title for our platform. Steam doesn't have that. Steam's not doing that.
I'm wishy-washy on this one.
Why?
Because I see what they do with Flight Simulator.
What happened?
But they're not hands-on like that.
As long as it's if it's the Pocket Pair team, I'm okay. If it's Microsoft doing stuff, I'm a little like,
no, they're offering resources.
So what happened?
Resources,
to
cool.
enable
What happened with
dedicated
Flight
server?
Sim? That
Nothing. He's just bitter that
They have to
they're-
go through a lot of approval process in the back end with
It's how
Microsoft.
everything with
before things-
Xbox is, Patrick.
Yeah, I think
that's just everything Xbox. This is saying
Well,
saying
consoles in general. Has
yeah,
a lot
but this
of-
is them saying coming in and saying they're expediting shit.
that
That's
was
the
my
point.
thought, or my
my
hope
point is
anyway.
good.
Microsoft and Expedite generally don't go in the same
That's
sentence.
not. But that's what they just said. Speeding up the process to make
Are
Pal
they
World
saying it,
update.
or
Yeah,
is this
is
article
Xbox
saying
Wire.
that?
This is Xbox saying it. This is Xbox Wire.
Is Xbox Wire or is it
Yeah.
Microsoft saying this?
Microsoft. Xbox Wire is Microsoft. What the fuck are you
Okay.
talking about?
Because they can have social media divisions putting out press releases
Dude,
versus actually
no,
the company
this is
putting directly a press release
The
out on this.
Xbox Wire editor in chief.
Okay.
Dude,
Okay.
come on,
Well,
man. This is Xbox saying
I
it.
will believe. I will.
We're
believe
going
it when I
right to the
see-
source.
I'll
We're going right
believe
to
it
the
when I
source.
see it.
We're going right to the source, Patrick.
I believe it when I see it.
You don't play that enough anyway. You don't care. Go
I'm
back to your
just
Flight
saying-
Sim and Arma. Go back to sleep.
If this comes out and you guys are complaining about, oh, why is it taking
We're not
so
going
fucking
to
long?
though. But we're not
Then-
going to
then
because it's
I'll-
on Game
I'll rub it in
Pass.
your face.
We're not going to because we didn't pay for it. It's on Game Pass. So
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Exactly. So guess what? Flight Sim's on Game Pass. Stop bitching.
Yeah.
One thing that I guess we didn't touch on, or wait, were you still going there? I didn't cut you off, did I?
No, not at all.
Right.
I was telling Patrick off to stop his bitching.
I know
sorry,
there was
I want things quickly.
one of the
he's
big,
the instant gratification culture.
Not quite. Not that fast.
one of the big points with this game that people were constantly bringing up was is Nintendo going to sue and all that? And I did a little bit of research on this to see what the whole story was. And so from what I understand, there's three main things that you would look for. It's like, okay, is there a patent infringement, a trademark infringement, or like a copyright infringement? Obviously, patent wouldn't be the case here because it's like you can't really patent that kind of type of thing. The trademark, they're not using the name Pokemon. They're not using Pikachu, for example, or any of the names. So essentially, because of that, because they're even you can't copyright a style. So the fact that they do look egregiously similar to Pokemon,
Very
right?
close.
But the fact is because they're not exact, you can't say, oh, they can't copyright that style of artwork, essentially. So as long as they're not coming out, as long as there's not a Charmander character that pops up, as long as there's not, you know what I mean? Like,
well, and that's why they shut down that modder right away.
Absolutely, because as soon as they did the Pokemon mod, now they're like, oh, now you're using our intellectual property.
Yeah.
Now you're calling it Pokemon. Once you call it Pokemon, then it's a whole new ballgame.
Exactly.
They're fairly safe. The only thing that we might look to see in the future is if there's a term that they use called the squint test, which essentially is if you take two properties and put them side by side, if you can't tell the difference when you're squinting, then that's a cause for concern.
It won't hold up in court, though.
Well, they used it for a game that copied Tetris, and Tetris won because if you looked, these two games were so similar. It was a Tetris ripoff, and then because of that fact, they used the squint test, and they even your pieces look like Tetris pieces. So it was just they were able to win that in that case. So that's where maybe Nintendo could go if they decided to go that direction.
But again, again, it's all inspiration based. So I don't.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't expect really much to come of it from what I've been seeing, but that's maybe the route they could take if they decide to go that route. But again, Nintendo's more concerned about people pirating their own properties, right? So if you're
games they don't want to put on modern hardware.
Well, if you want Pokemon with that name on it, you have to go to them. If you want Mario with that name on it, they don't give a fuck if you're making a platform.
Yeah.
Just don't call it Mario.
Mm-hmm.
And you can play their games, but they won't put it on their modern hardware. Even though you could say directly to Nintendo's face, this franchise is popular. People will dish out money for you to report the exact same game to modern hardware. They go, no, we're not going to do it. It's like they make you go out and buy the old console just to play the same game.
Well, that's a whole nother separate issue.
That's a whole different thing we could go into for another day. And yet somehow they're still, top dogs in the industry. So, hey, I don't blame them, man. They're making their dough. They're making their money. They're doing their business the way they want to do it. Good on them.
Yeah.
That being said,
God.
Just wondering if anybody else had any other thoughts about Power World that we didn't get into.
No.
Get out there and catch some pals.
Yep.
And
or
in Spencer's case, put them on your head and arm them with a pistol.
SMG. Correction.
Oh, it wasn't SMG. You are correct.
Lift monk.
All right. Anyway, I don't know. I was just gonna say, speaking of Nintendo stuff, I know Patrick had something you want to talk about Nintendo related.
Yes.
Yes. So this is the time of year we normally start bringing up discussions, and it tends to be something frequently on social media, whether it's Facebook or generally over on Twix. People start to speculate on what's going to be coming up on the February Direct. It's one of their biggest presentations they do every year. It's normally Spencer, correct me if I'm wrong, was it February and September are the two big Directs generally of the year?
I find many times the summer can be the biggest ones.
The summer one can be very large as well, which I think that's what the June Direct.
It depends. It really depends, because I feel like...
And it depends on their schedule, too.
I feel like during each Direct, sometimes they kind of have a target different audience. It kind of depends on it, I feel like. Because I feel
Plus,
like in
COVID, it hit
ones,
everything. COVID messed everything up in the middle of the life cycle of the console, too.
I typically find June to be the biggest one.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is the time of year we need to start speculating on stuff. What we do know is coming this year early in the first half, and then some things that might be coming later in the year. And of course, there's been the very wild and relatively not official credibility, but very high, take it with a giant handful of salt. We are getting a Switch 2 or Switch successor second half of this year. It's pretty much going to happen. All the trades are saying it. The rumors, the speculation, everybody's saying it is coming second half 2024. But for now, they have basically came out and said, we're going to continue supporting Switch. Switch is going to be the future for at least a few more months. I know between me and Chris, we were speculating late last year what was going to be the waiting period for Switch 2. I speculated spring. He speculated like fall or later in the second half of the year. Chris, it seems to be right on this one. It is going to be later this year. But we do know Princess Peach Showtime is coming out March 22nd. There's been forever rumors about Hollow Knight Silksong. It's the sequel to the first Hollow Knight game. This is a huge game fans wanted. Every single Direct, if you guys go look in the live chat of every Direct, everyone's going like Hollow Knight, Hollow Knight, Hollow Knight. They want this game to come, and it would be the perfect drop just in time for the end of the life cycle of the Switch. So I think they'll probably announce that one at this Direct. Even if it doesn't come out till later this year, I think they will announce it finally. It's been long overdue. We know Luigi's Mansion 2 is coming, I think it's this summer. No official date, but they've been working hard on that. It was originally a DS title. They ported
3DS.
to Switch. Sorry, 3DS, correct. So that is coming. It's a game, if you didn't have a 3DS, you will finally get to play that on Switch. I think that's going to make a lot of people happy, because at that point, that's pretty much all. You'll be able to play most of the Luigi's Mansion games on larger hardware, whether it's hybrid or original. we've heard some speculation on possible even GameCube NSO being added. I've heard some light rumbles in the last few weeks. That's a possibility, which means they might be able to even drop Luigi's Mansion 1.
Nintendo Switch Online for all you non-Nintendo people.
Yeah, sorry, correct. So if you have an NSO subscription, you will be able to maybe play GameCube possibly as early as this summer. So you might be able to play Luigi's Mansion 1, 2, and 3 all on Switch, which will be just absolutely bonkers. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess have been long rumored for the last 2 years that the games have been basically leaked out saying they've been sitting in storage for 2 years. They've both been complete for Switch. Nintendo has just decided to leave them in storage, sealed away. They weren't going to drop this until I think the end of the life cycle of the Switch. That's been the long rumor, is since every Direct, the fans in the chat have wanted this game to come out. Spencer has seen this, I'm sure, as well. They've always been teasing this as a double pack, as long as we've known, pretty much since Super Mario All-Stars came out. So this is something that's been coming down for a while. Everyone knows it's pretty much a done deal. The question is, when is Nintendo going to release it? That's always been the speculation. We still don't know. That's a possibility this Direct. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, that got announced last Direct. And I don't think we still have an official announcement on that except for 2024. I think we will get an official announcement date for this trailer. Or sorry, this next Direct. Professor Layton, we might get a first look at gameplay of that. That was originally a DS and 3DS series of games, generally puzzles and stuff that you solve. Spencer, did you ever play any of the Professor Layton games?
I have not.
Okay. Gio or Chris, have you guys played Professor Layton stuff? I know it's a little bit more niche of a game series.
I played the first one, and it was good. I didn't get that far, to be fair, but yeah, they're a good series of games if you're into that kind of stuff.
But we did get a teaser trailer last Direct, so hopefully we should be getting a possible first look at gameplay. Even if it's a small tease, I think they will give that to us, and maybe at least give us 2024 or 2025 on a release date, possibly. Now, I had a few predictions here for you guys. These are just my personal predictions. They probably won't happen. These are just kind of rumblings of what I've heard or stuff that I think will be likely. I think we're going to get a new Yoshi game. It's been a while since we've had Yoshi on Switch. I think that's a high possibility. We'll get one right at the end of the life cycle, right before Switch 2 comes out. They might even port it to the Switch successor. I think we'll get a few more DS ports. If they're doing Luigi's Mansion 2, why not bring some more DS stuff, or at least sequels to DS stuff over to Switch as well.
Any names in particular there?
They did Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. They did remastered versions of those for Switch. So if they can do that, I could see maybe Pokemon Company doing like a black and white remaster ports possibly, because they're just so successful and so popular in the DS world. I could totally see them if Diamond and Pearl, was it Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I think is what they called them on Switch. If the sales numbers were good enough for there, I think there's a high possibility those games could be ported over to either the Switch or the Switch successor. Don't know that for a fact. That's just supreme speculation. Xenoblade Chronicles X was a Wii U exclusive. This is a game the fans of the Xenoblade series have really wanted ported over. This is a really far wild shot way out in the dark. The director was questioned about this. I think it was about a year and a half ago, around the time Xenoblade 3 was getting kind of in the process of getting ready to come out. They asked him, hey, would you ever bring X over to Switch or Switch successor? And he said, it's always a possibility, never say never, but at this time it's really just not in the cards. So he might be tight-lipped on it. We don't know. It could come out. It really comes down to how successful were the Xenoblade sales for for Switch it would be 2, 1 definitive edition, and now 3, plus the Torna DLC. And then, I think it was, Torna DLC. So if the sales numbers are high enough and they can justify it, possibility, and I think it's Monolith Soft that did, I think it's Monolith Soft, the same company that does that game that you really like to play, Gio.
Monolith Soft.
Is that the same company that does the mech game that you've been playing? I'm trying to remember the name of that.
Oh, you're talking about Armored Core?
Armored Core. Is that Monolith Soft?
No, that's
From Software.
From Software, but
I'm always mixing those two up.
Yeah, because it was originally owned by Namco, not Monolith.
Namco.
So that's why you're probably putting that connection together.
Yeah. So I think it's Monolith Soft is the one I'm thinking of.
Or they're still owned by, or I think they are. Anyway.
But they've been I know Xenoblade's been published exclusively on Nintendo hardware only. So that's a possibility that's been rumbling around as a big far shot, maybe that X will finally get its due date and come to Switch, because apparently it didn't run the best on the Wii U when it came out. I think it was in 2014, 2015. I think it was 2015. So maybe 9 years later it'll finally come over to Switch. We'll see. There was a much smaller game called Deca Police. I was reading up about this on social media. It got a few rumbles of people like the concept. It's about this young group of people wanting to become police officers. They go into a simulation world to learn how to become cops. It looks kind of wild. It's your standard run-of-the-mill JRPG. That got indefinitely delayed with production. I think they will get an announcement on an official release date, possibly. That's a long shot as well, though.
That sounds kind of interesting, actually.
A very wild rumor I've heard, no confirmation on this. The Super Mario Maker games have been so successful over at Nintendo. I think the studio that did some of the Zelda offshoot games, like I think it might have been like Link's Awakening, Spencer. That same studio under Nintendo might have been in production potentially for a new Zelda Maker game, where you'll be able to create your own dungeons for like a 2D or 2.5, 3D sort of multiple Zelda titles where you build your own dungeons based in the style of those worlds you used to play from the classic Zelda games. That may be coming this year. It's been a long time. We haven't had a Warriors game, whether that was in the official Dynasty Warriors series or like Zelda Warriors or some of the other franchises. I don't know what brand they could go with. For all I know, they could pick Metroid, do Metroid Warriors or something wild. I don't know. But it's been pretty quiet in the world of Warriors, so I think a Warriors game might get potentially announced. They like doing stuff with Sony and Nintendo, so either one is a possibility. And every once in a blue moon, they'll do something with Microsoft, but generally not. This is also the year of the Paris Olympics this summer, guys. So I think being the February Direct, they could announce it now and maybe not give us an official release date, possibly. But Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games has been a relatively okay series of games that make, sort of decent sales. They generally do updated graphics with each release in the series. I could see this being a possibility. And since Switch 2 isn't going to come out till the second half, or whatever the console is being called, isn't coming to the second half of the year, I think this will be a Switch title that comes out this summer. So get ready, guys. Mario and Sonic is probably coming back. And those are my guesses on possible titles coming to the February Direct. So what do you guys think? Are there any games you would like to see in the February Direct that I didn't mention, or some possible things you guys want to throw out, potential stuff maybe you've heard rumblings on social media of stuff that might be coming middle or second half of the year?
I think he did a good job of a lot of the, speculation stuff, right? Because the biggest thing now is, we're obviously looking at games at the end of the Switch life cycle.
Which is it's really hard to figure that out because
I've heard a lot of murmurings that. Yeah, I've heard that a lot of murmurings that the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess thing might actually be on the Switch too, or so.
I've heard rumors it might be one of the titles that's on both. It's a real possibility. Like they'll because it's with digital storefronts now, you can easily drop it on both and download it on both.
Yeah. And so, but no, I think you covered a lot of it well. I definitely don't think a lot of your guesses is going to become a reality. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm just spitballing those.
Thinking.
I don't see a new Yoshi game happening on Switch. I think that this one DS port we're getting right now is a pure test to see how it works, because there's a lot more other beloved 3DS games that could come.
You're saying the Professor
But
Layton?
I think they're no,
Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, Luigi's Mansion. Yeah, you are right.
I think that's a giant test, so I don't think we're going to get any more of those. GameCube, Nintendo Switch Online, I flat out don't think is happening at all, if anytime soon.
You think that would come on the next console, possibly?
Yeah, I think if it's going to come, it needs better emulation. Probably.
And that might even come down the road. You might even get Wii emulation with that down the road, possibly, too. Who knows?
No,
I mean, they got Galaxy. They got Galaxy to work on.
They would just
Mario
remaster
All-Stars.
it at that
if they can like from a hardware perspective, I haven't looked into it, but if it's strong enough to do GameCube, it could probably do Wii as well. It's just a matter of like whether they would want to do that.
They'd
right?
remaster those games like they did with Super Mario RPG. Like I could see
like
remastering Sunshine.
If you put it as its own entity, they could make more money probably.
Yeah.
Than just throwing it into the Nintendo Switch Online, which is just essentially like, that's their subscription service, but it's I don't know if we're at that point yet where they're going to be making more money from subscriptions than flat out game sales.
They're not. Not Nintendo.
Yep.
Nintendo doesn't do online well enough.
Not yet, at least. They need to upgrade their servers first.
Yes.
That might come with the next console.
Maybe.
That's a real possibility. Maybe. But if they do, they're going to have to start charging a lot more money for their subscription. There's no way they can run better servers without charging more.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how much you're paying for Xbox and PlayStation. That's almost a majority of that is helping the studios, paying people salaries, and server costs. People don't realize how much those servers cost. But what are some wishful thinking? Like, what are some games you would like to see maybe before the Switch ends? Is there like a series like you guys played when you were younger? You're like, I'd love for that to come back.
Well, the only thing that I honestly really want for the Switch is that Twilight Princess and Wind Waker thing. Other than that, I'm very happy. I don't have any other like really.
Yeah, I'm ready for a new console. I think with Nintendo.
I think most of us are.
I think that.
And give us themes. What the heck, man? It's been 7 years of Switch, and you can only choose black and white. That's it.
Yeah, they got other ones.
Nope, they don't. They really don't. It's like. Like Xbox and PlayStation, you can change your background. You can pick a
There's
theme.
themes. There's just two of them. Yeah, black.
Yeah, they got themes. They're just two of them.
You're talking about dashboard theme. I don't spend enough time on my dashboard on a Switch.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to see. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you guys.
The Xbox.
I was gonna say I want Toad. I just want Toad.
Oh Jesus.
One game I would like to see. I think I'm pretty sure they've announced it, but they haven't shown anything of it so far, is Metroid Prime 4.
Yes.
Yes, they need
so
it. But
I would love to see something from that.
Will that be a launch title for the next console?
No.
That's the thing.
That's the big question.
No. My prediction is that it would be the big game to release with the next Switch.
It would sell it.
I think so.
Regardless of what path they take, I would just like to see something sooner rather than later.
We need something, because the Metroid Dread saved the brand, I would say.
Yeah,
that was incredible game.
But I think that they're gonna go with a more family-friendly themed game to be their major launch title.
Well, they'll have something else.
Oh, they're gonna do Mario. Yeah, they're gonna do Mario for sure.
Well, I know there's also the rumors of an Odyssey 2 that could come with it, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't think Breath of the Wild was necessarily family friendly, and that was a huge launch title for
huge launch title.
Switch.
I would say it's more of a PG-13.
But that game had already been out on Wii U, hadn't it?
No, it came out same day.
Same day, yeah.
Same day on both, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Zelda's always been that's kind of their mid-range where it's like it's not. Yeah, that was one of their more adult titles, but it's not technically.
It's more PG-13 compared to Metroid, which is a shooter with scary aliens. And
it's straight up shooting monsters.
All teenagers.
You're using a gun arm.
A gun arm, yeah. It's definitely a more mature themed.
But not straight like Doom with all the blood.
No.
Yeah, it's in relative terms to Nintendo, right?
Yeah. For Nintendo,
it's their most mature game. So yeah.
That's the big thing is like I think it's either Odyssey 2 or Metroid Prime 4. The thing with Odyssey 2 is we don't know how long that may or may not have been in development. For all we know, they may have started working on it right after Odyssey
the
came
first
out.
one, yeah, and this could be we've been
well,
working on this for 7 years. Get ready.
You remember if they do it if they're doing it like, say, Galaxy 2, for example, that didn't take that long. I don't recall after the first one, because it was an actual sequel, right? Like same engine, same, they just added a few mechanics and stuff. It was more of that. If they did that route with Odyssey 2, I wouldn't be mad, because Odyssey was such a damn good game. But if they do that route, then if they've already been working on it, that could be out this year, potentially.
Yeah. At any point this year, they could announce it tomorrow.
That like Breath of the Wild was a dual release title where it's on Switch 1 and 2. That could be Odyssey.
Yeah, they could do that as well. That's another option.
Yeah. Well, because Metroid Prime 4 probably is going to need the better hardware.
Well, no, I disagree with that, though, too. Well, because it's been planned for the Switch for the longest time, so I think they would have had it planned for it. Now, it would absolutely have a hardware boost on the next one, though.
Oh, yeah, better graphics and better performance.
So they, just like a lot of devs to develop game development does, is they switch engines halfway through development sometimes to have it on a better engine. And if they're gonna do that, they could have done that. I mean, we don't know. Nintendo's so hush hush about that kind of stuff. But I could definitely see them being like, you know what, we got the Switch 2 coming out. It's better hardware. Let's make this a better engine for this game. We really want people to feel this game. Because, I mean, Prime's, first person, right?
Yeah.
So all the Prime games are,
so they really want the immersion feeling, so the graphics really have to hit.
Especially if the rumors are true, this next console is going to have PS4 level graphics.
Well, like,
so
even...
It's going to hit you.
I think really will. It's been the last Metroid Prime was on the Wii, right?
Yes.
So it's like, even if they did do it on the Switch 1 as an example, it would look so much better than what the last one we've seen.
Look at the recent remaster, just the regular Prime.
So like, I'm not saying they're going in one direction or the other, but I'm just so hyped to see what it is they come up with, because I'm just ready for like another experience in that kind of universe, and in a first person Metroid game. Like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, for sure. Faux show, I agree.
All right, what's next?
PlayStation State of Play, guys. That's a big thing that happened. No speculation. All stuff that came out today. There's a lot of games, so I feel like we should just kind of quick fire through it as much as we can. It began with, this is such a weird game to start on, Helldivers 2. I mean, it looks like a fun game, but it's a game we've known about. I feel, it obviously isn't in that general role of start with the big one, end with the big one, because it's like, it's a $40 game you're beginning with that people already know. And so, but it looks like fun. Like,
I think they really want to push it, like the first one. I didn't realize that was it a PlayStation exclusive? Or PC as well.
Well, PC as well, but
So I think they're just trying to cement that as more of a flagship title than the first one was.
You know what I think would be great with it, though, is if they put it as like an extra or premium tier game. Because that would have so many more people go to play it. And I'm sure it'll have a trial, but that's the thing, is I don't think a lot of people mess with the trials.
Yeah.
So you really do need more adoption for this game, like get more people to try it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think. I mean, it's great that they're having foam stars come on as a PS extra, which we did see later on.
Well, but that's not part of a tier. That's it's everybody gets that, right? That's like
as long as they're paying.
As long as they're paying.
Okay.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying, is like you could have it as an additional essential game for everyone gets it. But I think it'd even be a great way to have it on extra, because then it would incentivize people to have
to get the middle tier or higher.
Get the next one at least.
Yeah.
And so
I think PlayStation, because they haven't had, except for Foam Stars, that'll be their first party day one release.
Destruction All Stars.
Right. Okay.
But that failed.
That started as a pay game, and it got demoted essentially to
right. But when it was originally launched as a paid game, it came out on PlayStation Plus day one.
Okay.
Essential day one. I'm trying to think of anything else. Like, there's been a couple other things here and there, but like
anything
they haven't done anything
big like this that they really are pushing marketing on.
No,
because I've seen marketing of this other places too.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. I think it would just be really helpful because it's like a lot of people are like, yeah, it looks fun, but people aren't necessarily like, holy crap, I need it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You know, whenever I first saw the trailer for Helldivers 2, I thought it was Starship Troopers.
Yeah, a lot of similarities in the style.
That's what I thought it was. So, yeah, they're not. They could do a better job. You're right. For sure.
My only concern with Helldivers 2 is that they moved too far away from what made the first one so good, and it'll be too much of a deviation. You know, if they can keep that core gameplay,
agreed,
or enough of what made the first one good, then yeah, it could be a very good game for them.
Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed that's fun though. I mean, I might pick it up later on. Next game we got, I believe it's called Stellar Blade. That game looks like a lot of fun, I think. Third person action adventure. It just looks like a lot of fun. We saw a lot of this game. The enemies look crazy and action packed, and I mean, it looks like it has about everything you need from a good third-person action adventure game, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what that'll have to offer because I think it looks like a pretty good time.
Agreed. It reminded me a little bit of Bayonetta.
A little bit, yeah. I see that for sure
in the gameplay, but with like a more RPG-ish twist.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting because we saw some elements there that I was like, huh, that's interesting. I remember I saw the vending machine there. I'm like, oh, this is from Final Fantasy.
Where you rest, yeah.
Or you even literally rest on a chair.
Yep, right there. There it is. You rested on a chair. There's a grill.
There you go.
What else is there? A record player.
Yeah.
Vending machine is off to the side here. Patrick, your mic is doing all kinds of weird stuff.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I just think it looks like another solid third-person action adventure game. I like the only other point that I really have about it is there's a lot of great enemy designs. There's such a great variety of. Granted, it was several minutes it spent on it, but like we saw a lot of really cool, creepy-looking enemy designs in it that they look awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it has to offer. Any other thoughts on it? Anyone?
Geo?
Did it remind you of like Nier Automata or anything like that?
I haven't played it, although it's on.
Or is it more like a?
I'm
just saying, just from what you saw, like what was the vibe you got from this game specifically?
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. Okay.
Yep.
Apparently, the creator did a massive like MMO game prior to this.
Which one?
I just had it in front of me. Not one we would have played, like an anime one.
Sure, but which one is it? And
it is Blade and Soul.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yep.
Korean MMO, and then it also got turned into a TV show.
It's free to play, I'm pretty
sure.
Let's find out.
So it's interesting.
It's like most of the anime ones, it'll be free with microtransactions. Or as I like to call it, free 99 with an asterisk.
Well, that's what I thought was interesting, going from something like that to this. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Soul, you said?
Yeah. And they seem to have like a partnership with PlayStation as well, so for this game, which is interesting. So
they'll be the competitor against Pow World.
It's not on Steam. So, all right.
Next game is actually, surprisingly enough, the one I'm most looking forward to out of all these. I'm going to be honest, and that is Well, I knew a Sonic Generations remaster was coming because that was leaked ahead of time. That got me excited because I thought about buying Sonic Generations like once or twice, the 360 version on Xbox.
Yeah.
And but instead I opted to get like another Sonic thing. Because I've been wanting. That's just a franchise I've been wanting to play more of, and so it's been a game that's been on my eye that I've been wanting to check out. And so hearing this rumor, which is now true, of Sonic Generations remaster is very exciting to me. And the other thing is as well, that's a complete surprise about it, is that it's not just that, but you're getting a whole Shadow campaign where you play as the best Sonic character. If anyone says otherwise, you're wrong.
Knuckles.
You're wrong.
What? You're wrong, definitely.
Shadow just looks cool. He's the coolest looking.
Wait, you're saying Shadow? You're claiming that Shadow is the best Sonic character?
Yes,
that's what he's saying.
Is it opposite day?
Why are you saying Sonic's the best?
Yeah, see, I'm with Gio on this one.
Well, I don't know who the best is. To be fair, I'd have to think about that. I'm a huge Sonic fan, but
Tails is the best.
I certainly wouldn't put Shadow at the top. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Keep going.
Especially after his flop.
But anyway, no, I think it's also surprising to see a whole Shadow campaign with this. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Let me maybe you can explain this then, Spencer. So this is a remake or a remaster of Sonic Generations with an added Shadow campaign. Is that essentially what this is?
Think of it as a 2-in-1. You get Sonic Generations remastered as well as a whole Shadow campaign. How long that is, I don't know, but it's essentially a 2-in-1 deal.
Oh, so that sounds pretty cool.
Yes.
And so and it's called Sonic X Shadow Generations. And so I'm like, this is what stood out to me the most, especially since I've been wanting to play Generations. Shadow's my favorite character, and the only time that he got really alone in the spotlight, at least in the title for a game, wasn't that good. So
it was not
leave
good
it at that.
Sold badly.
Yeah, this will be one to watch out for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm really.
You might see him this summer in the Olympic Games.
Another big thing. Oh, right. You know, I didn't bring that up earlier. Is I do think that's a likely game to happen. But besides the point.
What? Frontiers 2?
No, not Frontiers 2.
Frontiers 2?
Oh god. Sonic 2006 too?
Oh my god.
Oh yes, the game we've been wanting. Sonic 06.
So funny.
Sequel.
Something that worried me about this though when I first saw it, and then I saw otherwise, is I don't remember who developed that Sonic Colors thing that ended up like being really bad at launch. I've heard it's better now.
It was just on Switch. Yeah, there was a glitch on the Switch.
I heard it wasn't great on other things as well, but I'm hearing it's better now.
And here's a lot better since they've updated it. Yeah.
But supposedly this is done by the actual main Sonic team, so that gives me a lot more faith, because Colors was by someone or some other little studio, so I'm not sure.
Third party, yeah.
So very excited for that. We get a little bit of a Hoyo game. Does anybody care about it? Next,
No.
No one cares,
microtransaction heaven.
All right, no one cares. We saw a little bit of Film Stars.
No one cares.
I'll be playing it. Hey, I get it for free. All right, come on. Next, Dave the Diver.
Cares.
Free is for me. You know, anytime there's a big
$3.99, Chris.
On Game Pass. So you know, same thing here on PlayStation. Just you don't have it.
We don't get games with gold anymore.
Hold on, Dave the Diver. I am going to show this one part of the trailer because it's very exciting. So it's coming to PlayStation this April.
It's coming to
but
PlayStation.
What they're adding in May, something is coming. Dun, dun, dun. Here it comes. No.
Jaws.
Gojira?
Gojira is correct, sir. It's coming out of the water in Dave the Diver. This is a game I will probably be picking up on PC. Spencer's probably picking up on PlayStation. Unless it's also coming, I don't think it's coming to Xbox as well, so we'll have to look into that.
It's wild.
But yeah, it's awesome. So, Dave the Diver.
Definitely not a collab I would have guessed.
Me either, but it's awesome. So now I want to play the game even more. It's already been on my wish list.
For additional purchase, do you get a skin for Godzilla? It's the -1 Godzilla.
With the -1 no color.
-1, yeah. Black and white Godzilla, or it just makes everything look black and white while you're playing that one.
So this is a game a crossover, so this will stay on my wish list, and then around then when it goes on sale, right when this comes out, it'll probably be added to my library for sure. What's next? Oh.
Next we
Another-
get V Rising on consoles, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have
show
much to
there.
say on it,
Yeah.
but it is cool.
Yeah, V Rising.
But like
yeah.
V Rising to console, it's great to see always a big indie game expand to more, especially if it ends up being crossplay, that could be cool too.
Here's some
So we'll see.
screenshots.
Crossplay is good.
Next thing was big.
Yeah.
It's a free game that I should be out by now because it said later today, and
Yes.
today doesn't have much longer left. And that is a new Silent Hill free to play game called Short Message, I think.
Yes.
I could be wrong. I know I looked at it and I'm like, this looks great for a free little game because it's like a tiny campaign game. Like it'll probably only be like a couple hours long, but like it looks really fun for what it is. But it for being a little freebie, I think it looks great. However, I'm not going to touch it. I'm a little wuss. I'm not playing this. It would scare the living shit out of me.
I'm wondering if. I mean,
Well, that's out now.
It's out now on
Out now.
PlayStation. I'm wondering if it's gonna be available streaming on the PlayStation Plus streaming.
I'm going to say no.
Probably not. I would love for the short message to come out on PC because I would play it, but I think it's PlayStation exclusive. You never know, maybe it's timed exclusive, so eventually it will come out on PC. Because I know Silent Hill 2 will come out on PC.
A year from now.
So,
Oh man, that sucks. I
How
would
those
totally,
Sony deals are. They make you wait a year.
I would totally play that short message right now. But
Right.
yeah,
So then they go into showing us stuff. Speaking of Silent Hill 2, like a short little Silent Hill 2 clip. That's coming, and they actually show gunplay and stuff. And they just say in development.
yeah, this is a big one too. I think that the Silent Hill 2 is generally known as like the fan favorite of the series, or like the highly regarded one anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a whole generation of people who haven't gotten to play it.
Correct.
So this could be a really big release.
Me, although I wouldn't play it. Just throwing that out there. But
Yeah,
I'm
so
definitely
don't
Spookers.
don't make that as the reason why you haven't played it. it's not
I'm
because
definitely not going to. Well, it looks good for what it does. I just don't like that kind of. I don't care.
He's a
No, I
scaredy
get it.
cat.
Not my thing.
He's a scaredy cat.
I said earlier I'm a wuss. All right, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live up to that. I did really like though. It felt very old school in the way of how the button prompts were. I really enjoyed that. But like I say, it kind of looks like almost what Resident Evil does. I don't think it looks as good as Resident Evil.
It's
but
similar
it looks
to
like
Resident
a good
Evil.
follow-up.
Yes, it's definitely similar to Resident Evil, for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping that could potentially lead to more in this series, because that's one of those series that kind of got neglected after a while. And you know, we all know what happened with Konami and them going on their hard times, and we saw Capcom come back from their rise from their proverbial ashes. So I mean,
They were on the edge. They were teetering.
yeah, so it'd be interesting if we can see something like that happen with Konami, and that would be the game to do it with, I think. Or one of
And
them.
another thing. Well, I'll get to this after we get to the end, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it looks good for what it's set out to do. I'm trying to look at what's next. Next looks awesome.
Yeah.
I think this is my second most anticipated.
Okay.
Go for Judas.
Yes.
Made by BioShock, so you know it's going to be fantastic because it's made by that dev team. You have all sorts of fun powers. You can tell
it's not made by
BioShock,
that same dev team. It's the creator of BioShock's new studio.
But people that's okay.
Yes,
right. But people that have worked with BioShock and know
yes.
how to do it all.
Correct. They're
And
good
so-
storytellers. Correct.
And so, anyway, point is they know what to do, at least when it comes to BioShock. And so when it looks similar to BioShock, and like the whole premise of it seems really weird and interesting and lots of cool things. And it literally opens up with seeing evil Thomas the Trains. All right, and so
Choo Choo Charles.
Choo Choo Charles, my old friend.
And so it looks like a lot of fun. I don't know. Like, it looks so weird. I don't know. There's a lot of good things I could say about it, but it just looks like a great little campaign game.
And this is actually our second preview of Judas we got, because they teased it, I think it was about a year and a half ago. And so this is a better look at the game officially, as it looks like it's going to be closer to launch.
In development still.
And if they're still saying in development, I think it's going to be at least another year.
Yeah.
I think by next winter or next spring, it should be out.
We'll see.
They're pretty far along.
I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
It looks good. It's one of those games I might even pick up.
Any other thoughts on Judas, anyone?
No.
All right. Next up, we just have a couple of VR games. One is Metro, set in the Metro Exodus world. Metro VR game.
Yeah.
That looks neat. The other VR game caught my eye more. What was it called? A Legendary Tale or something like that?
Yeah.
Legendary Tales, my bad. And that fantasy fun action game. Action or role-playing game, as they call it. So it looks like a lot of fun as well. But just a couple quick VR titles, as we know how PlayStation does their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing, we got some was this Dragon's Dogma 2, right? Yeah.
Yay!
That game looks epic, but we've already seen a lot of it before.
We've talked about we talked about that game so much already.
I can't wait for it. All right, it might be a day one buy, honestly.
I think that's going to be the one you and I are going to play more to the first game still as well.
Well,
Next
since hearing that's not even in the same universe, it's like, okay, what's the point of playing the first now?
I'm still going to play the first one.
Kind of no point in it now. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, once you play the sequel, it's going to be hard to go back to the older one.
Yeah, because you're going to be like, the new one's so much better.
Yeah. Next we get Rise of the Ronin. This looks like a cool little twist on like those like hoarder Souls-like game. Like, it's not directly a Souls-like, but it's made by the same people that made Wolong, and so, or at least a publisher, I think. Right? It's by Team Ninja.
Same publisher. No,
and
it's
seeing them.
Yeah. Did they do Wulong? I think they published it. I don't think they devved it.
Yeah, I'd have to look at specific studios and whatnot. You're muted, Geo. Oh, maybe that's intentional. Okay, I just see his thing moving a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks.
Oh
like
crap! Sorry, I was on mute there. I was trying to. You probably saw me trying to talk there. Yeah. So this is from Team Ninja, who did both the Neo games and Wolong Fallen Dynasty. And this is, as you see from the gameplay, that it's definitely a departure from both of those in the sense of a lot more freedom of movement and things like that. I think it looks like a nice change of direction from what we saw with the Wolong, because I was not a huge fan of that game, but I quite enjoyed both the Neo games, and this looks like something that's more going in a more original direction. They're not, it's, like Neo was kind of just more of a copy from Dark Souls, right? And this is more, this isn't like Elden Ring, but in ancient Japan, you know what I mean? They're going in a different direction, and it looks like it's very curious to see. Even the time period that it's in, they even mention it's one that typically people shy away from, that time period in Japan.
It's very steampunk, which I like. I like the steampunk side of it. Like the flamethrower was really cool. I got it.
It looks cool.
Yeah, like
I'll check it out on sale.
Definitely, it won't be.
I'll be looking forward to this one. We might even see. We might even see a demo
PC.
of this one.
We'll see it on PC for sure.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Oh, absolutely.
Not right away, but we will eventually.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. What was next?
Next, Until Dawn. Anyone care?
No.
Okay.
No, not really.
Then we get a lot of Death Stranding 2. Yeah. A lot of weird shit, as we usually do with Kojima and these.
Kojima on a blender.
Lots of Kojima.
I will say though,
the guitar
guy, and that whole sequence was awesome. When he had those two guys battling, it's like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Yeah, I feel
the little bits of. Oh, go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the little bits of gameplay we got on it, it seemed primarily like the first one. I mean, we saw definitely it seemed like better environments, which is awesome.
Yes.
But it also looks like the gunplay is a little bit refined. There wasn't really much in the first one from what I know of. But seeing it looking from the one part we saw seems to be better.
Yeah, there was definitely gunplay in the first one, but where you could use it was few and far between because you can't really go around killing people. You'd use your rubber bullets more than anything. But when you get to the boss battles and you're using all your combat, that was super fun. So if they're going to lean it more into that in this one, I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't played. I've seen plenty of the first one, in videos, people playing it, but I still haven't played it. And after watching this trailer, though, I went and I installed the first one because, they'd given it away free on Epic. So I'm like, I really need to play the first one because I need to know what the hell's going on here.
Absolutely.
It's a very weird world.
But what is up with that little dude attached to his hip?
That's a new thing.
That's a new thing. Okay.
I find that hilarious because they start putting it right where Mimir is on Kratos. I'm like, oh my god, they're literally doing this again. I mean, essentially, it is just you don't see it in the same place in God of War, and so.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is up with that. I didn't see anything like that in the first game. That's for sure.
And you have that one person where it's the gloves are here and they
and she lights the cigarette for her.
That's definitely some Kojima shit for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Music by Ludwig Forsell. No idea who that is. If anybody on
composer,
knows
big
who
composer,
Ludwig
supposedly.
Forsell is, let us know in the comments below or in the chat. Ludwig Forsell. Where there's this many vehicles in the. Here's that part.
Well, he's done some stuff for Metal Gear for some of the other games as well. So he did soundtracks for Metal Gear Solid 5, both Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's a prior collaborator.
Ludwig Forsell. I like how the gloves just snap. It's like she's using her telekinesis or something like that.
I think that's what it is. If it's the same character from the first game, she looks familiar.
Oh, is she from the first game? Okay. Yeah, were there that many vehicles in the first game? Because those vehicles.
There was a decent amount. You had your larger trucks and stuff. You have your bikes. There was a few different variations.
Oh, okay. They highlight the action director as well, who is action director Yuji Shimamura.
Yeah, I believe I'd have to look it up, but I think he also did some stuff on those games.
Yeah, here's some of that guitar. And so is that supposed to be Norman Reedus? Awesome. Is that Norman Reedus in the armor?
It very well could be.
Oh.
Because why would they highlight this cutscene? Or are you playing as the other guy? Main title designed by Kyle Cooper, whoever that is.
Well, it could also be for suspense of they don't want to show you who's under the mask right then and there.
Yeah. The Darth Vader effect.
Sure. Well, it could be even when you play the game, that mask isn't on or something, or you know who it is by that point or something.
Okay, there I was. I put on the mask.
And then there's
I was born in the darkness.
Oh, and then there's the last announcement that there will be a Final Fantasy VII.
No. You missed one. You missed the other Kojima thing.
Oh boy.
Oh right, there was another. That's right.
Because I found that very odd. Because I found that such a weird way to announce it. I don't know if anyone else felt this way. I felt like it's such a weird way to announce a game. Typically you see stuff with a cinematic, but here's Kojima being here's this other game that we're not even going to start development on until for at least a year, at the very least. Because he's
still working on that Xbox game.
So I can tell you exactly why they did that. What this is essentially this is going to be the new Metal Gear Solid game. Obviously he doesn't own the rights to Metal Gear anymore. So, or I don't know if he ever did, but in any case, he can't. It's not going to be Metal Gear Solid, but that's what this new game is. And people have been asking, "Oh, are we going to get something like that? Are we going to get something like that?" The gameplay in Death Stranding was very similar in a lot of ways, but clearly it's not Metal Gear Solid, and that's what people want from him. That's what this is. So that's what they're saying here. Is he's saying,
so it's going to be in the style of Death Stranding cinematically, but Metal Gear.
I think it's they've wanted to go in cinematic directions. Actually, a lot of the Metal Gear games have a cinematic leaning in one way or another. So I think they're just going to lean more into that.
Sure.
If you play those games, it's very much in the style of like a Hollywood action movie. So I think he's going to lean more into that this time, and just kind of without the restraints, it's going to be no one's going to be telling him what to do on this. Mm-hmm. So he can make the story go as crazy as he wants it to. But gameplay wise, absolutely, it's going to be Metal Gear. It's going to be the new Metal Gear without being called that. So I think that's him just letting people know that that's what's coming.
And then he goes, I own all the rights.
Well, and because you think, look, why would you say this without showing any footage? Well, that's how big of fans people are of Kojima and his games, where that's all we needed is to just hear that he's doing it, and it's something. Of course, we would want more, but it's good to know that that's what the future holds for him.
Yeah. All right. And then the last thing that was announced is that there's another State of Play next week.
Yeah. I was all the big games were leaked ahead of time, and so I knew what was coming from this. Which I guess we'll get into overall thoughts here in just a moment. But that was on that list, so I found it very interesting. But at the same time, it makes me more excited to kind of go into a huge deep dive into the game, because that's a huge game of what it's setting itself up to be. And I'm planning on getting it day one. I literally an hour before we started recording, I hopped off Final Fantasy VII Remake because I've been trying to play it because of how great Rebirth looks, and I've been enjoying Remake. Spoiler warning, I guess, but it's been a fun experience that's just getting me more and more excited for Rebirth, and it's looks like such a huge step up as well, and so I can't wait to see what happens.
All right, well, we'll find out next Tuesday.
Tuesday. That could be a good video for me, and good thing for me and Gio to break down if you want to.
Yeah, there you go.
What's that?
The
Final Fantasy Rebirth State of Play.
Ah, yes.
Because you've played the original and know some of the remake, and my plan is I'm going to focus on playing a lot of it over the weekend, so I'll have the story of Remake beaten before that State of Play.
Yeah.
All right.
If you want to see it, let us know. Overall thoughts, though, at least a letter grade from everybody of how it was overall.
Matthew Coburn with a friggin' Wimpy's reference in the chat.
Probably pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
It's a deep cut right there.
Hell yeah!
Not how this works.
I'll give it about a B plus.
I give it right in the middle of a road of a B as well. That's what I'm feeling. I think there's definitely, like I said, there's that one game that definitely got me excited. Depending on when that release date is, and
Judas.
No, not Judas. Fall for Sonic.
Oh,
that could be a day one buy. If not, it'll definitely be a Christmas thing, because it's I know it'll be on sale then. And
yes,
so
absolutely.
And so either way, I'm getting that this year, as long as they don't delay it.
Well, it's
Judas
only,
looks great
it's
too.
Still technically only January, and for you, for 10 more minutes, it's still technically January. So there's a lot of a year left.
Yep, this is true.
Gio, what grade would you have given it?
For the State of Play as a whole,
yes,
I would say, it's tough to grade. Yeah, definitely B plus. I wouldn't give it too high of a grade. There was nothing here that's groundbreaking or like, oh my god, freak out worthy.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some stuff to be excited for, and just some exclusive reveals, and just some footage, some things we didn't see before. So I think you got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, I think there were plenty of games that I didn't care about, as well as games I did care about. That to give it that like B-ish grade.
Like if they would have had footage of this new Kojima game, that might have pushed it over the edge.
Sure.
But obviously, nobody expected that.
Yeah, no.
So
now, Patrick, I know you didn't watch it, but from what you've heard,
lazy bum. Go on.
what you've heard from us breaking it down, what would you think you would say?
Solid B. Solid
Yeah.
B. They hit the
Copycat.
right cues on. No, seriously, they hit the right cues of what you want to hit for a presentation like this. It wasn't a super long presentation. It was in like that 40-minute mark, 45-minute mark, somewhere in there. So, doesn't take up too much of your time. Hits all the main points. What do you want to show? What do you need to know? What's coming up in development? What's still going to be in development for a while? What are the games that have specific release targets you're hitting? You couldn't ask for anything better, especially in a post-COVID world right now. I'll get into this a little bit later. The games industry is in pretty rough times right now. Just about every single studio is
if we have time, we'll talk. Let's not
fired.
talk about that right now. That's a negative.
That's
if you want to make
thing,
it, we're not. Man, I don't want to even think about that right now.
That's a whole
All those
podcast
people-
by itself.
it's a whole video by itself for sure. If you want
we
to
won't
break
do
that
that
down,
today,
you can definitely do a video of that for sure.
But yeah, they hit everything you need to hit. I think this Kojima announcement didn't necessarily need to happen. They could have waited until they had like a little bit of something to show.
Agreed.
This is just Kojima flexing, or maybe Sony's like,
it's because of
we don't
Walking
have
Simulator
enough to
2.
show.
That's why.
Yeah, well, they knew they had him already, and it was
Exactly.
Probably like, hey,
So
got anything else for us, Kojima? Yeah, I'll give you something.
throw us
but
a bone here. Xbox just bought
that
Activision.
that means he's working on 3 games right now, all at the same time.
Yeah, well, Well, he
He's
hasn't
working
started
on-
this game. He hasn't started this one yet. This one.
yeah, that one won't start
this is
until
considered
after Death Stranding
Consider
2.
pre-production now.
Yeah, pre-production. So that's a lot
So
of like,
technically
meetings
3,
and talking.
not full production, but so we'll say 2 to 2.5.
Lord of the Rings, Two
Somewhere in there.
Towers, the game. Gimli and them chasing.
That would be a great mod for Death Stranding.
Yes.
To play as Gimli.
No, here's what you do. Your character is Legolas, but then the
Yes.
little doll is
Gimli.
Gimli that says stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
wasn't there a scene? There was
You
at
have to
least
place
one
him on a
scene.
box.
There was at least one scene in those movies where Gimli was carrying a bunch of shit and he dropped it. Right? I could have sworn there was a scene like that. And I was like,
think
that's
so.
totally fits into
I don't think
Death Stranding.
so. I don't
Or
think
maybe it
so.
was- there
Nothing's
was-
coming off right off the top of the head.
Nah,
Someone
I don't think
did. Someone was carrying some
probably
shit and
the
dropped it.
hobbits, maybe. I mean, Pippin
No, I
knocked
mean,
a
I'm gonna
bone
say
into
that
a well.
seems, and
It seems in character for Gimli. That a particular moment like that isn't coming to
I have to go rewatch all the fucking movies now just to find
I'll
it.
see you in
I'll
20
see you boys
hours.
in about 13 hours.
Yep. Well, extended editions, man. Oh yeah, that's still
Yeah,
13
4 hours each.
Yep. Anyway, so,
The Matthew says he's still never bothered to watch those films and the Harry Potter films. I can't speak on Harry Potter, but
You've
Lord of the
never
Rings
seen
is
Lord of the Rings?
absolutely
Lord of the
worth.
Rings.
Matthew,
You
Gotta
definitely need to
watch.
watch those. They're great
gotta
films.
watch Lord of the Rings.
Harry
man.
Potter is niche, but I will say if you get a chance to actually sit and watch the Potter films, definitely go
Lord of
give
the
them a shot.
Rings. Don't Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
first.
Rings is definitive watch. You must watch Lord of the Rings.
Definite. All right. So,
And I won't blame you if you don't watch Star Wars in the modern era. It's okay.
Patrick, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but that says nothing
Well,
about the original trilogy. Like,
No, they're-
no.
if anybody
They are-
asked me today if you should watch the original trilogy, I'm going to tell them yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I even
And I
tell them
think-
to watch the prequels.
and watch Anakin whine about sand.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not gonna tell them to watch the sequels though.
You want to see Finn yell Ray 50
No.
times?
No. I might try to watch Force Awakens, and then that's the end of the end of Star Wars.
Force Awakens, I will say, is fantastic. I actually did enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was happy
Opening
with
night,
that one.
still hands down my
and
favorite.
then the
theatrical
rest of the
experience
trilogy
opening night.
ruined.
What you tell them to do is you go through all the Disney stuff that's on screen up till Return of the Jedi, and then you stop it right there, and then you just say, "Go read Heir to the Empire." That's what you do.
But what happens when they redo it in Mandalorian? They're gonna get confused.
Oh boy.
Well, that's why I said up to Return of the Jedi. I didn't say Mandalorian. I said up to Return of the Jedi.
Oh, but then they're gonna get the wrong impression with the old Heir to the Empire. And then when they watch it, they're gonna
boy.
Wait, what's
Yeah.
this?
That's why I said watch up to Return of the Jedi.
What about watching
so
Ahsoka?
just
though?
ignore everything that's new.
Oh,
okay.
ignore everything Disney then. Okay, gotcha.
I'm saying
Except for
canonical.
Rogue One.
Go through
Rogue One
Phantom
can
Menace
stay.
to.
Rogue One can
okay.
I'm saying canonical Phantom Menace all the way up to the other.
Got you. What about Clone Wars? The cartoon
Clone Wars
and
can
Rebels.
Rebels
Oh,
can
those
stay.
are like
But then
some of the
what
best
about
animated series ever.
What about Ahsoka and Obi-Wan and Andor?
All but Ahsoka. Well,
Kill it
What?
with fire.
Oh, but Ahsoka?
no. If you're
Because
keeping
if
with
you have
this
to, if
idea,
you have to do Ahsoka, you have to do Mandalorian.
if you're
And
keeping
you
it
have to do the Boba Fett.
we're keeping with the
No
idea
Book
that
of Boba
instead of
Fett.
it all being
Just the-
sequels, it's what we got. in
Just the
novels.
last 3 episodes of Book of Boba
I
Fett.
thought you told me you loved the most Espa Vespas.
No, I didn't even watch that episode. I only watched the last 3 episodes of like I was told to.
They're the best biker gang of all time.
Oh boy, they're too colorful.
All right. Anyway, Chris, you have a couple things you want to talk about,
I have a
right?
couple of
Wrap
things.
up?
So
Something like that.
You
So the
talk
first
about
thing I want to
changes
talk
yours.
about for all you fight fans out there, boxing that is, and fight game fans too, because boxing games are fighting games. We've been waiting for a good boxing game for a while, and there's been one in early access called Undisputed. I do own it. I think I've streamed it once, but I definitely the online was a little. I was like not worth it. It was laggy and not worth it at the time. Early
Bad
access,
servers.
but
All bad servers.
what they're adding now is they just announced that on February 12th. They're adding career mode and character creator. So very excited to finally have a boxing game, a new one. I mean, because the last one we had was Fight Night Champion, which was like 2000.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
14?
two
No,
console
less than that.
generations ago. Like,
2011 maybe.
Yeah, it was like 360, PS3
It was
generation.
360, yeah. So very excited to. I'm gonna probably end up streaming this. One thing that is coming with this update, though. First of all, they're also announcing this is the last early access update, which means that the next update will put it into full release, which means then it will probably end up getting console release soon as well. It's only on PC right now, but they are planning on releasing it on console once it goes full release. So this means we'll be getting a console release for it soon as well, which is fantastic. Hopefully we'll get crossplay. But
Game Pass?
maybe I was thinking that too, possibly. That would be really cool. But the price is going up for it with this added update because they're adding a whole career mode to it. The career mode looks super in depth. Things like negotiating your fights, hiring your cut men. You can negotiate the purse with the other fighter on what cut you get and things like that. It's super in depth. It looks like they've gone full in depth. The company is called Still City Interactive. Definitely a game to check out. I recommend checking it out. Not much else I really wanted to talk about on that. Gio, I knew you were going to be interested in this, and when I saw it,
absolutely,
I know people have been waiting for a boxing game again, like we said, since the 360. So this is actually pretty big gaming news.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I was a huge fan of the Fight Night games, and there hasn't been like something like that since. And the fact that they're bringing all that, pretty much everything that was in that that we loved, and then kind of bringing it to the modern era. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I definitely want to get it and just dive right into that career mode. Like that just seems like a hell of a lot of fun. So I'll be picking that up at some point.
Awesome. Patric, it was on Game Pass. Would you play it? Man, you're muted.
Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, if it was crossplay or if it was
on Game Pass, I'd
against you guys, like do some PvP with you guys, I would definitely be down to play it.
Okay.
As long as servers are improved. That's got to be the big if. It can be on Game Pass and the servers are still horse crap.
Shit.
If that's the case, I would uninstall that thing so fast. Now I might still play the career mode regardless. Just a quick playthrough, get whatever achievements. Move on to my next game. But I like the idea of the character builder. That's something a lot of good modern games should have, I think, in my opinion, unless you're specifically looking to follow a certain character's journey. So yeah, this has the marks of something that could be very special. I think it could go on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass. I think it's got a lot of potential. Now, this would be the first game in a potential series, so I think they're going to dip their toe in the water and see how well sales do first. If the sales are good enough, sure. I especially on the PC side, that'll justify moving it to console and seeing how it does over there.
Yeah.
They could do like a few other titles as well, though, still released on console, but maybe not put them on Game Pass at launch.
Yeah,
maybe feel it out for a little bit and then maybe add Game Pass later.
They've already said it's coming out for console.
Yeah, okay. So it's a big question of, is it coming to subscription services?
That'll be if it's going to get on the radar of Game Pass, and then for sure. And we know Spencer wouldn't play this, so.
Yes, he doesn't do sports.
It's not even sports ball, though. At least it's a fighting game.
Boring.
All right, Homer. Well, let's move on to a game that isn't so boring. Oh, wait, what were you going to say, Gio? Sorry.
It's actually not that. Well, I was just going to say, I hope they just don't take a yearly approach to this. Like, I hope the game is the foundation and they just keep it going for year after year.
Agreed.
As opposed to
no live service. Yeah.
Well, they still do
games.
Yeah, the sports. I can't stand that when it's like they're putting out a yearly roster update,
and they end up on the shelf at your store. Like, all right, the bargain bin.
As long as they don't do that, I'll be quite pleased, I think, with this game.
Agreed. So the next thing we're going to talk about is actually the last thing. Yeah, I guess last thing with where we are. Well, yeah, last thing. Last thing is next thing, last thing, whatever. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which has been in and out of development hell over the past 5-6 years,
forever.
I'd say. Finally got a gameplay reveal. And just last year, I think they Paradox got rid of the developers and went out and got new developers for it. I have to say, it looks fantastic. They're going with a different approach. So the first game, you were able to customize your full character, make your own character. This time they're going with a set character named Fire. And so it's kind of like but it's PHYRE. It's kind of got it's the Deus Ex approach, it feels like, but I'm not sure if they're gonna go more the cyberpunk approach, which is you can change your gender and customize. I know
they mentioned you can be male or female.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, you can pick your gender, and then they said there's going to be some customization, but they didn't go into detail on how much it would be.
Okay, I must have missed that. That one little detail, because everything else I was like glued to, especially when they showed the gameplay. And this is the short version. The long version was crazy with the things they showed, the different powers they showed. Like I loved the power. There's a power that they showed where you can basically mark little points on an enemy, and then it'll do like a fury of blows with your fist. Oh, here it is, right here. Look at that! Wow, look at me for timing. How is that for timing? And then the psychological aspect, the puzzles. It all looks like it's gonna be really, really immersive. The way it's interesting how they're doing your backstory. So the way they described it was that you'll go through and other characters will tell you about things they've heard about your character, and you can either, confirm or deny those things or correct them, and that'll affect what your backstory actually is. I think it's a really interesting,
really cool.
Yeah, it's a really immersive way to alter your backstory and change your backstory as you play the game, rather than just you start the game, you choose this character, and it affects your that's your backstory, rather than as you play it changes your backstory. There's different clans as well that have different perks and buffs and powers, and get different buffs when they feed. Feeding is going to be a huge part of the game, because obviously it's a vampire game. So definitely very excited for it. I think it's this year, I believe. Let's see, I thought that's what they said. That it's coming out late in the fall. The game is. And I know none of you have played the first, unless Geo, have you ever?
No, I never played the first, but I think my brother was big into the first one. So I know some about it, and that's one of those ones where it's like, you always hear a lot of good things about the series, about the game, and people have been really excited for this one for sure. And looking at this trailer, I have to agree with the sentiments on the excitement for this. Like, just some of that gameplay, some of the things you can do looks really fun. I can see some really cool combat scenarios coming up in the game. So yeah.
Yeah, there was a part where he lined up a bunch of enemies on a catwalk and basically dashed through them all and killed them all and slammed the last one up against a door, a wall, and just killed it. It was really, really cool. So yeah, the idea that what you'll be able to do, but it's strategic as well. So the way you're able to use your powers is by feeding, obviously, because you're a vampire. And there are sometimes enemies you can't feed on, like wooden mannequins. So you have to ration your powers, because you've had them build up before you went and fought these guys. But once you use them, you can't until you get past that part. So aspects like that. One thing they didn't show that I'm going to wonder about is the world. Is it going to be open world? Is it going to be a hub and then you go out on missions? Or is it going to be story where it goes from mission to mission and location to location, like Deus Ex kind of was? And it was Deus Ex semi-open world ish, and you have to like go fly to other locations to do missions. Like, this whole preview took place in a warehouse, so it didn't show us really any of the world at all. So I'm not worried about the world, but I definitely want to see more. But after so long, I'm very excited that the game is very close. Spencer, any
Yeah, I just watched that regular trailer for my first time while you all were talking about boxing stuff, and that looks really cool. It definitely has me interested, possibly even if the first game goes on sale, I may pick that up to at least give a shot before this new one comes out. And so it's definitely a game on my radar now. So I'm looking in, and I'm interested in seeing what it'll bring. Geo brought up a lot of good points as to why it looks very appealing and all. At least for someone just like looking into it, not knowing much, and so
yeah,
it definitely has my eye now.
yeah. The first game is only available on GOG.
It's on Steam.
Is it on Steam?
I just looked. I literally just wishlisted it.
The second one or the first one?
First one. Empire of the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Oh, it is. Look at that. It didn't used to be.
Huh. Either way, I have it wishlisted on Steam now.
On Steam. So, and
hoping
it's
it goes
a
on
game that has like good mods to be able to remaster it and make it more modern looking.
I think the thing that I'm really hoping is they keep the RPG aspects in this one, because like what we saw is a lot of action gameplay, right? And which that's all cool.
Yeah.
But I hope that it's not just a straight up action game and we get like a lot of the RPG elements.
Agreed.
Because that's something I wasn't aware of, is the fact that it's a based off of like an old tabletop, like Vampire the Masquerade.
It's a tabletop. Yep.
Yes, and then there's been a few different games, and that's what I was thinking of earlier. But obviously, Bloodlines is the one that always stood out.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's Bloodlines. There's Redemption or something like that. That was like a third-person action game. I have that one, I think, as well on from GOG. And then there's been like some more story-based ones.
Swan Song.
Well, Swan Song was like a third-person like more story-driven one. But then
I guess there's a battle royale one I didn't called Blood Hunt.
Oh, Blood Hunt as well, yes. Which I think I tried it. I would like to try and go back to it, maybe. I remember when it first came out, it wasn't very PC friendly because I think it was ported from PlayStation. So everything was like, if you had an Xbox controller, it didn't matter. It was still showing PlayStation controls, and it was really annoying.
That's hilarious.
So, but I've heard it's improved. But there's also these like they're like Telltale games essentially. Like there's one coming out there's a VR one coming out February 6th called Justice. That's interesting. But yeah, Vampire the Masquerade Justice is what it's called, Spencer. Hold on. There's a bunch of them. They're like Night Road. Like they're all a lot of text-based ones and like visual novel ones. So many games like that. That are based on Vampire the Masquerade. Some
tabletop RPG. There's a big one, I believe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's all based on a tabletop RPG.
Right.
All based on a tabletop RPG. All these different video games are. So, I mean, hell, these are all, and I mean, a lot of it. Oh wait, let's see. Just games for Windows. How do you make it just the games and not DL? Oh, games. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games. 11 games, 2 of which are not out. The VR one comes out in February. The Bloodlines 2 comes out in the fall. Shadows of New York was one of the ones I was thinking of. Coteries of New York is another one I was thinking of. They're like visual novels, essentially. 2D visual novels. Games. But yeah, this new one looks really interesting. Again, the RPG elements are something I'm very intrigued in. The open world part of it, the out of combat, out of mission interactions with other characters and NPCs, and the economy system, things of that nature, that all those things you want to know about an RPG, the leveling system and things of that nature. Or is it strictly more more of like a BioShock, where there's skills, but it's more of a first person shooterish
run and gun,
like, 'cause you're a vampire, so using your powers and
bite and run,
yeah, bite and run, exactly.
Bite and run.
That's the new genre in 2024, bite and run.
So
That's hilarious.
So
Redfall needed.
But yeah,
Sponsored by Mike Tyson.
Redfall needed bite and run. Sponsored
and,
by Mike Tyson.
Ozzy Osbourne.
And Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, yeah, that would have been better.
So looking forward to that game. Looking forward to the undisputed career mode. Let's quickly, some of the, we're gonna wrap up some of the topics that we wanted to possibly get to but did not. Where are they? Here they are. They are coming out. They just announced a new guitar for Rock Band 4, as well as it'll eventually come out for Fortnite Festival when they get guitar support.
I predict it's going to come out around the time when it does get that support.
All right, cool. Millie Alcock is the new Supergirl. You'll remember her from House of the Dragon as the young, what is it, Rhaenyra? Was it Rhaenyra?
Don't remember her name.
What the hell? One of the Targaryen girls, the main one. Chronic Con was announced, which is Kevin Smith's convention. It's going to take place in Chicago, October 11th through 13th. Spencer's birthday weekend.
Yep.
His 21st, everybody. Oh my God. If we can get him to come to that.
Go get drunk in Chicago and
Yes.
go to Chronic Con.
Yes, let's do it, Patrick. All right. And Luka Doncic had a 73-point game in the NBA. He's one of only like 5 or 6 players to score over 70 points in a game.
Did it on the anniversary of Kobe dropping 81 as well.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we didn't get to, but great topics. Lots of cool games we got to. Mostly a game driven. It was an all game driven, very game heavy, except for Family Guy. Is the only thing that wasn't game.
Oh, and Taylor Swift is going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Fuck
Oh,
no.
God.
Stop.
No. Stop.
Stop. Even
That's our cue to end the show.
Spencer doesn't like sports ball, but even he knows that that's not cool.
And
Family Guy does have games. That is right, Matthew Coburn.
My teacher yesterday was going on and going, oh my gosh, NFL's predictive programming, or not predictive, it's
scripted.
all written now.
It's scripted.
That's
it's all
word.
scripted. Yeah, it absolutely.
Because he's
is
like,
scripted.
there's no way. He's like,
It's
there's no
totally
way that
scripted the way
team
it
would have
was.
lost.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about it. Should have been the Ravens and the Lions. Well, the Ravens don't deserve it. They sputtered, but the Lions should have won that game. Anyway, I'm not even going to get into that, folks. Patrick, will we be seeing you fly tomorrow?
Probably not tomorrow. I've got a bunch
Okay.
of stuff this week. It may be Friday or Saturday. Not sure right now. You guys will probably be seeing me fly in pretty soon. If I'm in the mood, maybe tomorrow we'll see. It's not going to be in the morning. I'll tell you that. I mean, I fell asleep on stream, guys.
Yes, you did. That was fantastic. That was
There will be no
morning stream.
9 a.m. morning stream. It's not happening. Not like usual. Those are normally when I get off work. Those ones.
All right.
And since I'm off tonight, yeah, that's not happening.
He's
But,
going to bed, folks.
I'm gonna go snooze and go spend a little time with the girlfriend. So yeah. But yeah, you guys can find me over on X at Gannon136. Also, I just posted some really funny Hot Ones memes on our Red Shirts page. So if you guys want to go see that, I did one for all 4 of us tonight, just to be part of the funny trend. And these are custom. These are custom. These aren't that silly one that's been spread around that I've been kind of sharing.
Jesus.
Chris pushed me. He said, "Go make memes."
I did
said,
not.
Okay.
I did not. I did the opposite, actually.
So it's Chris's responsibility. It's his fault.
No, it's not my fault at all. It's Spencer's fault.
What did Spencer do?
Absolutely my fault. Absolutely my fault. Yep, I did absolutely everything because I was just sitting there playing Final Fantasy.
Telling Patrick to memes. Memes are cool.
Well, the memes are done, guys. Go check them out. Give them a like. Share them around. Repost them. Let's get these memes viral.
Gio,
And you can also find me on the Records Discord.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
go ahead, Gio.
Gio, anything you'd like to say?
No, I mean, no, I think I'm good. I think you guys have said all the words.
All the words. Words are hard. Spencer, why don't you plug yourself?
Plug myself. Hey there. I
Save that for the OnlyFans.
Coming soon to the Red Shirts.
Only Dingus.
On the app Only Dingus.
$5 a month.
All right, guys.
50 cents a month.
As everyone knows here, you can go check me out on the Dingus Den, where I do a bunch of comic content. I just posted 2 days ago the Discord discussion that we had over Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, the original 1984 event. That was a big discussion that we had. And if anyone ever wants in on the next discussion, just join in over on the Discord. And we do them bi-weekly in the Dingus Den Discord. And so we're going to be keeping those up, and I should be having, hopefully, if I get edited, there should be a new video Monday.
Awesome. And you will be seeing me with Spencer most likely on Friday, I'm guessing. Or maybe tomorrow.
We'll see.
Tomorrow, playing some Suicide Squad. I will definitely trying to try and get more content out, stream more videos, especially after seeing how well our He-Man Masters of the Universe video did. Definitely good motivation to do more, make more content. Thank you everybody who did watch that. It had definitely appreciate you all giving us some love. And if you've made it this far and watching, make sure you share our channel and
down below
share this podcast or other videos, whichever. And make sure that if you haven't yet, why haven't you clicked subscribe and rung the bell?
Yeah, what the heck, man?
And you
click the subscribe button.
You can click the like button. You can even click the dislike button if you want to. Engagement's engagement.
Go ahead. Yeah, click that.
You know what? I'll show how it's done. Dislike. There.
That was easy.
There.
Until next time, folks, we are the Red Shirts. We're sort of remastered.
Sorta, kinda, maybe.
A little bit.
Up to you.
We'll see how we feel next week.
Till next time. Till all or what? Wait, no, wrong show.
All for one and one for all. Oh wait, they're wrong shows. Damn it.
See you next time here. Oh wait, no, also wrong show.
We need a sign off. Laters, everybody.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Peace and love.